Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV, Liverpool versus Porto, second leg, Champions League quarter-finals, the place where it all kicked off last year. Chris Pajak.
Hello mate.
Sadly we're not going there this year. I hear the weather forecast is very similar.
Shock. Raining in Porto.
Rain in Porto.
This time of year. Really.
Rain and fog in Porto. Who knew?
At least we won't get trapped on that bridge.
Or just trapped in Porto like we did last time. Nevertheless, look, massive game once again. 90 minutes from a semi-final.
And the mad thing is, I'm not ready to talk about it.
No.
Like I'm not over the Chelsea stuff yet. Yeah. And it's a Champions League quarter final. Yeah. You know, and you're 2 goals up. Normally this would be like your entire focus for the last couple of weeks. You got a Champions League quarter final. We've got bigger fish to fry. Yet this is absolutely massive because you can see the route to the final, can't you? So in about 12 to 24 hours, I'll really like to talk about this. So maybe come back to me then.
Yeah, you literally didn't have to come in for the show. Ben Kelly was sat but we have got Kieran Gethin in the studio. Kieran, welcome. How are you feeling for this one? I think, you know, the fantastic result in the first leg at Anfield sets it up really nicely.
Yeah, definitely. It gives you a lot of confidence. It's like you said, normally you'd be concentrating on just the Champions League all the time, but it almost feels like maybe I want him to rest a couple of the players a couple of the main players for this game. But you can see it's probably going to be Barca next in this. So if we can maybe give some of the top boys a bit of a break, I'd be really happy with that. But maybe you want to go there again like we did last year.
Sorry, I know you're a boxer and you put people to sleep and stuff, but if you did a sleep podcast, your voice is incredible, and I would absolutely listen to that. Like,
for the self.
Oh my God, like I'm just he's talking. I go, oh God, yeah, just sleep here, like it'd be perfect.
Monotonous bastard.
That could be misconstrued really badly. And he punches people for a living. I think it's really nicely poisoned so much as if we got that third goal, and I think we were it took a little edge off because I think Liverpool deserved more than 2, I think, in terms of the performance at Anfield. But it being, I say only 2, because 2's a perfectly good score to have.
Away,
it does mean that I don't think Liverpool can go into this one complacent. I think we know that, look, if they get a goal, their crowd's going to be up. We've seen how big the Dragao Stadium can be in that regard. I think it actually means, in a positive sense, we do have to take it seriously. We can't go in complacent.
Can't go relax and then go 2 goals down in 10 minutes or something, but I think 1 goal puts it to bed. I really don't think there's any way back from it.
Phil, it is.
You better watch out, anyway. They call me the Pink Whisperer. No, I called myself it. It was a long time ago.
Isn't that what you
remember?
The
Pink Whisperer. It was on the ball super ago. Remember when we got in the ring with Leo McKenzie?
All right.
You don't remember? You got a kidney punch and
changed my whole outlook on life. Yeah, I started trying to reconnect with my family and friends after that one. Phil, it's look. There's a real danger, I think, and whether it's just in us or whether whatever, that if we were a little bit better, if we had got the third goal, there's just simply no coming back from that. I think we need to go in there with the mentality that 1 goal will kill it for us, but that should be our aim. We're not going to go there for a 0-0 draw. We're going to go there. If you come away with a 1-0 win, that's a phenomenally managed 2-leg tie.
Yeah, I don't think Klopp has it in him to go and play for a 0-0. It's not, and each game is more important than the last. So I think where we will try and we'll come on to the lines in a bit, but where we'll try and rotate the midfield a little bit. I think it's going to be the normal front 3. I think you'll still have Van Dijk still going to be playing, Alisson still going to be playing. It's still going to be a very strong squad regardless what we go.
But because it's a quarter final, these lads are going to want to play.
This is the ridiculous thing, isn't it? So we were saying this before, that how crazy is it that we won the Champions League quarter final 2-0 and we're disappointed? It's madness, and we're in a position that we can talk about resting players and that kind of stuff. But I think 1 goal kills it. 1 goal and get the ties finished.
I must say, pressure off, Chris, because I mean, look, once you step into that stadium, the pressure's going to be on big time because their fans are going to be baying for blood. They were amazing. We beat them 5-0 and they never stopped singing for the entire game. There's going to be a phenomenal atmosphere in there. But this is just it's a massive game of football, and yet, to some extent, I'm just excited for it. Once again, I've been looking forward to the Champions League games far more than the Premier League because I'm trusting us more and more in the Premier League, sure, but I feel like we've got our heads around Europe. Like, you know, maybe I wasn't feeling that when we were awful away from home in the group stages, but it does feel like, and I think obviously going away to Bayern helps that massively. But this is, I'm enjoying the ride in the Champions League more than I maybe have been in the league this season.
I think a lot of that comes with the confidence that the team are playing with, of course, but then knowing full well that Klopp's been here for near 3 years now and he hasn't lost a two-legged tie in Europe. You know, the only time we've been beaten in Europe is in 2 finals. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So when you go into these two-legged ties and you're 2 goals up, of course you're going to have confidence. But, you know, we talk about, you know, momentum in sports so often, don't we? And, you know, you need to carry that winning streak on. You know, it's been about six odd games we've won on the bounce now, and we'll just continue that. We won't want to go there for a draw. We want to go there, kill the game off early, and then look to rest a few players. But I expect a fast start from Liverpool. They want to silence the crowd. They want to get into them, and they want to make sure that those fans do just we dampen them a little bit. I think something that's a real advantage for us is we've been in that stadium as a team and as a fan base, so we know what to expect. It's not like you turn up and you don't know how good the fans are going to be. You do, and you've silenced them almost once by 5 goals. You can do it again.
And let's be honest as well, I think the Porto mentality, I think they were very happy to not get battered at Anfield, which was very much a possibility, and I think it will play in their fan base. They'll be up for, they'll want revenge. They will, because it was an embarrassment. You know, if anyone came to your home ground and beat you by that, you'd be raging, you'd be desperate to put that straight. We were desperate. I was desperate for us to get Real Madrid this season, just so we could again just to beat them, just to put it to bed a little bit. And I'm gutted we never got that opportunity. But we do have that. It's there. It's fresh in the memory. If we do go and get an early goal, there will be something in their heads that just goes. They've got a title to fight for themselves. Let's not forget.
Listen, look, I know last season's games don't count, but we've played them 3 times and they haven't scored past us. The squad will know that going in. And this Liverpool side seems to score in every single fixture. So just carry on doing what you're doing at that point.
I think, Kieran, we've got options, and you talk about, you say like resting. It means on the surface, it's like, what do we mean by that?
It doesn't mean your squad.
It doesn't mean what it meant a year ago or 2 years ago. It's not. We're not putting some kids in.
No.
You're talking about Dejan Lovren. You're talking about James Milner. You're talking about Gini Wijnaldum. You're talking about maybe Divock Origi.
Fellas who've all got in their own right got to finals at this football club.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. And like you say, putting someone like Milner in instead of Matip, I think it would be a good a good thing for the game. But,
Lovren, you mean?
Lovren, sorry, yeah. And then maybe giving Gini a rest because he's played so many games. I think you'll put someone like Milner in his position or something like that.
The good thing is that Gini Wijnaldum having had basically 2 games off, having
It's
gone from playing every game for us pretty much. He can rock. We can now just bring, if we want to bring Wijnaldum in, we can. If we want to bring Milner in, we can. We've got that situation. Hey, listen, if we want to carry on playing Keita and Henderson in the midfield, well, we can, because Keita's not played loads of football.
This season.
Jordan Henderson's played lots less football than he has done in years gone by.
It might be a good thing putting Keita in because he's having a good run. You know,
Momentum.
You want to keep it going, don't you? Especially if he's just coming into form at this point of the season. We want him to take it into his league, into the league games. I think probably Keita would probably get the nod over Wijnaldum in there, but I'd like to see him get in the team.
I think, Phil, this is a situation we've worked ourselves into, and we talked on the final word about how this Liverpool side is very unfamiliar to us because they're brilliant, and we're not used to Liverpool being brilliant. We're used to us having really good flashes and moments and good players, but also being a bit weak and being a bit crap at times when we most need us to step up. This squad, this is phenomenal. We have got a squad. We've got, and there'll be some people who don't like certain members, and look, let's be honest, like Lovren coming in the team the other week, a few people went, Dejan Lovren, the lad hadn't played basically a game in 3 months and came in and was absolutely fine. Maybe some criticisms over his positioning at times or whatever. I thought he had a good game. I thought he was bang up for the fight with Marega, and it makes me wonder whether it's another, same again, Dejan, we got him in for that game, keep him in here because we've got the option, we've got the opportunity to keep him fresh and keep him fit and match fit. So why not?
And what a beautiful position for us to be in. I mean, it's not a position I'm too familiar with for Liverpool to be able to do that. As you said, we were looking at the bench and there's kids there, and you're thinking, can someone come on and do a job? But, you know, I remember days when we were bringing on Danny Pacheco and stuff, trying to make something happen. And,
Nathan Eccleston.
but you know what I mean? But you look at some of the lineups from a few
remember
years
him.
ago, and you just start going, oh my god. Whereas this, like, it's night and day between the bench from last year and the bench from this year. But I think one of the major changes this year for me has been the mentality of other people towards us. I don't think we've quite got there yet, but it's other people's mentality towards us. So Porto got absolutely battered last year. You said they've not scored against us. We got all the way to the Champions League final. People are looking at that. People are looking, going, this is last year's Champions League finalists, and they're just turning up, and they're turning over Bayern Munich, and they're turning over. Do you know what I mean? And it's, they're almost expecting it of us when we don't, which is interesting because you can see it in the way that they line up.
There was a great comment, Chris, in the Twitter comments from the Chelsea game about I'd love to be able to experience this as a rival fan, to get me an understanding of how terrifying Liverpool are, because I don't think I appreciate quite how good we are because I'm so lost in the middle of it. And Phil's dead right. There's not a team in Europe that isn't fearful of us. Again, Porto knew that game was getting away from them at Anfield and basically went, right, okay, we're going to make sure that our primarily, because they knew if it got to 3, that would have been them done. They'll still be up for the fight. They'll be getting told by Conceição that it's still, you know, it's within their hands. Of course, they can go and turn it round, power of home and all that. But they will be aware of the challenge in front of them. To try and score a goal against Liverpool, as you say there, is a monumental achievement. We're brilliant. We're brilliant, and everyone should be fearful of us.
Absolutely. I mean, just the way the Porto played against us in that first leg, I mean, a ridiculously high line because they realised that Liverpool were going to score goals and they may as well try and get a goal because an away goal to them would have been absolutely key to take back to their stadium. You know, they changed it up second half, they sat a lot deeper and they looked to try and just damage limitation time, wasn't it? And this time, I imagine the game will go very, very similarly to the first half at Anfield, to be honest with you. They'll be on the front foot and Liverpool will be there sitting back, ready to pick things off with the red arrows.
I'm hoping
whenever.
this striker doesn't get the opportunities that he had in Anfield though, because if he was, you know, his head was in the game, I think he'd put a couple of them away.
And we know Marega's a good footballer. He's got a fantastic goal scoring record this season. So yeah, I mean, look, inevitably he's their big main focus. You're right, we need to keep him quiet most certainly, but it's so exciting. I can't. This is it. I've been trying to say this for ages, but to be at this stage of the season is absolutely unprecedented. You know, in my tenure as a Liverpool fan, you know, I've never, you know, we are challenging for the title and in contention to win a European Cup at the same time. And I know there's accompanying stresses that go with it because the whole, well, if you do fall short, then it's disappointing. We're fearful of disappointment, but I think we've learned, and we were talking about this on the final word, where we feel that we can be fearful of that as fans because that would be disappointing. Yeah. But the point is, I think we can all unequivocally say across the entire fan base that this side has earned our trust
Massively, yeah.
Such that we trust that they will go and give absolutely everything in every given game of football. And if then someone just happens to be better than you on the day, case of that.
Well, think about how shaky our defence used to be. We used to panic every time somebody attacked against us because you'd be like, oh, you know, we almost needed to score 3 or 4 goals to win a game because we knew that they were going to concede. Those days are gone. Yeah. So I think what's beautiful with that is our counter-attacking football, though. So Porto now have to attack us. Yeah. They don't have a choice. They have to attack us. Yeah. And attacking us is one of the most dangerous things you can do in football because we will hit you on the counter-attack. Yeah. And I would not want those 3 running at me.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich had exactly the same problem, didn't they? They knew, they set the game up, Chris, so that, you know, it became one game of football, winner take all. They've got the power of the Allianz behind them. They get to go and take it to us, having played a little bit within themselves. Maybe you could argue at Anfield, and we just smashed them when we got opportunity.
And you know, we sent shockwaves around European football again, like we did last season. You know, everybody's looking at that, and you can't help looking at it and go, flipping it.
Wow. Yeah.
There's one thing knocking Bayern out on your own turf. It's a completely different thing knocking Bayern out on theirs. Yeah. And in their terms, in that fashion, exactly. Yeah. Like, and now you move on to Porto, a side that you've played before with a 2-goal advantage. And everybody's looking at it and thinking, and listen, I think Liverpool fans have been quite good actually on the whole with not taking it for granted. But I think probably the rest of Europe is taking it for granted that Liverpool will be in the semi-finals.
Yeah. No one looked at the Liverpool side, Kieran, and said, again, something we were talking about post-Chelsea, and thought Liverpool are not worse than last season. We got to the final last season and we're a better team. We were again, big point we were making. Fabinho's just really starting to establish himself now. Keita's only just starting to establish himself now.
Yeah.
We've got, Joel Matip, who would have been a big question mark over him. He's playing really well. We've got the option to bring Gomez in, which we'll talk about in a minute. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a year more experienced and better as a footballer. Yeah. Andy Robertson had only played half a season for us, when we got to the final last year. He's now got a full season and a half under his belt. We are a much
We've got a world-class keeper between the sticks.
Absolutely mental, Robbo's progression through, from what was he, Hull City, and then he comes in and plays Champions League final the year after. But yeah, he's the whole team is much more experienced. I think they'll use that experience. If we come up against Barcelona, I would call us favourites against Barcelona, because I just think maybe they're going to be a bit leggy from their league campaign. It's been quite tough on them. They're having a long campaign over there, and if we get them at Anfield in the first leg, I really think we could do a job on them.
It's very, very interesting stuff. Right, we're going to do preferred 11s in a moment. But before we do, we have got a brand new podcast here on the Redmen TV. We switched things up the other week. If you haven't checked it out, here's what it looks like.
Would you rather be eaten alive or buried alive?
Depends who's eating
me.
Hey.
If it's his dad.
Yeah, dad.
That's it. Like, if it's a lion, I'd rather get eaten because I'll be dead quicker.
That'd be fucking it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'd be dead.
Christ on a bike, that's the exact reason I wouldn't want to be eaten alive.
If I'm going to die...
You're going to die quickly.
I'd rather die quickly. Buried alive means I'm going to be there for a good hour or two suffocating before I'm dead.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'd rather suffocate than be bitten.
No, absolutely not. It's pitch black, terrified. No. Just,
but
if I'm going to die, I want it to be quick and
sure?
Maybe. But if I'm going to be, if it was little tiny animals just taking like rats or something, then I'd eat that. I'd rather just suffocate. But if you can get me mauled by a giant animal and I'm dead,
a whale,
and I'm dead, and I'm dead with in a minute, just give me that. The thing is, if a lion attacks me and bites my head off, I'm dead.
Yeah, you're dead instantly.
That's what I want. I don't want to be.
What about piranhas?
No, that'd be awful. Because I'd be away again. It'd take a while for the piranha to do me, and I want a big animal to murder me.
Look.
given these choices, I want him like the big animal.
Someone please clip that up and just put it on Twitter with Steve saying, "I want a big animal to murder me."
Yeah, do check it out. Revamped, revitalised, and now an absolute crux of your weekly Liverpool lives. Get involved with all that. Let's get into your preferred 11s, Phil.
So I've still gone with quite a strong lineup, to be honest. So obviously Alisson, Robbo, Van Dijk. I've got Lovren in there because of how he played in the first leg. I think he needs to be in there. And then Trent. My midfield is Fabinho, Hendo and Ginny. I think Ginny, with having had the last couple of days off, I think he'll be nice and fresh. I do like the freedom that Hendo now has with Fabinho being there, so they almost come together as a bit of a package now. And then the standard front three.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a real interesting point there. The Gini Wijnaldum stuff is that, Chris made reference. We can start if we choose to start fast, then maybe Keita's actually a good option for that. Yeah. But if we're looking to just soak up a bit of pressure, we talk about the impact that Gini Wijnaldum had off the bench against Chelsea and just holding the ball, taking that extra
calming
touch.
Influence.
Exactly. That we saw it actually. When he, I know he played the 6 against City in the Champions League last season, but when he did just take that extra breath, we were such a more dangerous force for it. So, very, very interesting stuff indeed. Kieran, what have you gone for? Did you go? We had a little chat pre-film. Did you go with Gomez at right back?
Yeah, no, right back. I got him in the centre next to Virgil. It's what I'd like to see. I want to see him come back in the team, and I think he's going to do fantastic when he gets his fitness back. Next season. You think of what he was like at the start of the season, and he seems like that mature type of personality who's going to go straight back into the team and still be calm. I don't think he's going to panic. So I go with Alisson in goal. Robbo, Trent, Gomez and Virgil.
Love that. Yeah. Love that. If I'd have thought of that, I'd have absolutely done that for a preferred 11.
Fabinho in the back, obviously, because he's doing so well at shoring up the defence. I got Hendo just in front of him because I think his attacking role is playing off really well. Keita next to him because, like I said, I want to see him keep a run in the team. I'd like to see him keep his form going, and he's like you said, he's good for attacking and starting fast, and then the front three.
The front three, yeah.
Right for yourself.
Hello.
Sorry.
So I've actually done
That's his agent
something.
making sure the belt's all right.
Yeah.
I've actually changed things up slightly in the midfield, and I've given Fabinho the night off in this one. I'm playing Wijnaldum in the 6 again. It's been a while since we've seen Wijnaldum in that 6, and I think for me I've gone with Wijnaldum, Milner and Keita as a midfield 3, although I did toy with the idea of, if we're playing counter-attack, shove Salah up top in the 9 and maybe play Shaqiri over on the right-hand side, but I did that in the end off for the front 3. Like.
I think for me, I mean, this is
Lovren at the back for me as well.
with it being preferred. Yeah, the Lovren stuff makes sense. We've seen him already. I've gone Gomez, but I've gone Gomez right back because give a good opportunity
Nice way to get him in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
back again.
I think Cardiff Lumen. I think we need Trent in that game because the onus is going to be on us to attack.
Yeah.
The teams that we've got left don't require Joe Gomez a fullback. In fact, I think it limits us having Joe Gomez a fullback. So unless you're going to just throw him in at centre-half, which is perfectly feasible, by the way, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him come in at any point. As good as Matip's been, as fine as Lovren's been and stuff, I think we'd all be happy to see Joe Gomez just be back to what he was at the start of the season. But no, I thought good chances to get him some minutes. We know he played for the under-23s at the weekend, didn't he? So maybe a step closer, maybe a step too soon, I don't know. Keeping Fabinho in the 6 for me, it's him or Henderson, and I'm opting to give Henderson a little bit of a rest. I think he's put a lot of work in this last week or so.
See, I think I'm taking Wijnaldum out of that number 8 role now, and I think I'm using him as the backup for Fabinho between now and the end of the season.
That's because how calm he was when he came on.
He was very calm.
He's just so good in that 6 role and stuff, and you know, with Henderson, with Keita, with Milner, maybe Ox. You know, we've got 4 lads who can play the 8 there, and Lallana as well.
I like seeing Gini attacking, but he's just haven't got that finesse that some of the
Well,
other
yeah, he
players
just
have.
doesn't score enough goals, does he? I mean, you can't escape the impact that Keita and Henderson have had in the last couple of weeks, getting into the box and causing problems. Gini just doesn't do that enough. He can.
Yeah,
but
I've seen him score
He
some
gets a
good
nosebleed
goals,
up there though, doesn't he?
Little bit,
Because it gets into his head, this hole he doesn't score away from
Particularly
home
when
and
he
stuff.
gets to
And,
do it.
you know,
But to be fair though, you know, didn't do any harm in Rome, did it? Like,
no,
you know,
absolutely.
so,
Listen, he's a cracking player, but sometimes you do see him. He kind of gets up there and he's looking for the pass rather than just looking to open up his body, and it's it.
I've gone Gini Milner because I wonder whether the substitutions that we saw at the weekend kind of inform what we're going to see. I think largely we're going to keep the same team, the same formation, and then we'll just, you know, in this instance, I think having Gini and Milner, you've got Milner's experience, fine. Give Henderson a little bit of a rest because I think once again, I think he's the better attacking option. I think we'll need him 100% for Cardiff, and doing it the other way to Chelsea this time around. Whether in the Storm, I think for half an hour, 45 minutes, 60 minutes even. With Gini in there, absolutely fine.
You weather the Storm for 90 minutes and you're through.
Yeah, exactly. But then bring him.
It's fine, innit? You know what I mean?
But then you flip him what we did. You bring Keita into the game to be a bit more drive, a bit more impetus, and maybe even Henderson as well for this. Just exactly the opposite to what we did against Chelsea, because I think the game goes the other way in that regard. And then, as you say, the front 3. But let us know your preferred 11s in the comment section underneath. Kieran, I've got you. Obviously, we've got a wonderful piece on display here. Welsh area super lightweight title. I did have to write that down. It was a lot of words for me to remember in one go. How's things going at the minute, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm hoping to fight again in June now. I've had 2 fights this year. I won that title in February, and then I fought a Spanish guy in March. He was like 6'3", big giant fella. Didn't put the best performance in, but I had a couple of injuries, you know, so I've had a bit of a break, got my injuries right. I did have an opportunity to fight in a British title eliminator, but because of my injuries, I had to pull out of that, you know, or, you know, maybe suspend it and come back to it later in the year. But if I can get a decent fight out in June, hopefully on a good show as well with my management team, MTK, it'll be a good end to the year. I'm hoping a big end to the year, maybe a new title to take over.
Well, obviously proud Welsh lad as well. What's it mean to have to carry the belt?
Oh, brilliant. Because I won national titles as an amateur, 5 national titles. I boxed for Wales. I was captain of Wales all over the country. You know, I'm proud of my mum's side of the family. You know, the Scouse side, but I am a fierce Welshman, you know what I mean? So it was great to, I've done it junior, youth, senior, and now professional as well. So all levels I've boxed at. I've won titles, so.
Amazing, yeah.
If I can keep representing us and go further, you know, international belts and stuff like that, I'll be really happy.
Amazing.
And I want to come fight in Liverpool at some point as well.
Yeah, that'll be class. I'm sure the way the Liverpool shirt would go down.
Oh yeah, get a good reception.
I might get new shorts made, like the Liverpool shorts with a badge on.
That'll be class. And your potential Redmen title holder when he knocks Pajak out for skitting his voice.
There's no way he's not going to be.
When the cameras are off.
Amazing.
He's absolutely killing
He's
me.
there in
I can't throw a
his
punch to
gloves
save
and
me
you're
life.
driving into him with the car, you know.
Quality. Right, yeah, just briefly looking at the rival fixtures then. Obviously Barca take United back to the new camp, 1-0 lead there. Juve at 1-1 hosting Ajax. Phil, any thoughts?
So Barca are going to do United.
Hey, we all thought that with PSG though.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's.
It's a different proposition today, but I hope they put like 5 on.
Barca are going to do United. Yeah. Do you know what? If it happens, it happens. But it sounds really weird. This you were talking about before. I almost don't care.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about what we're doing. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if United get through to next. Do you know what? Let's get him in the semis.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd
beat
love
them
to
in Europe
knock
last
United
time,
out of the
didn't we?
semis. If it doesn't, I still think Barca are going to do well. I think Juve. I mean, Ajax did well to get the result that they did. To be perfectly honest,
They've been great to watch as well.
yeah,
haven't they?
and they have, and they play some lovely football, and they've been the kind of the bit of a wild card, haven't they? They've done a lot more, and I think people from afar expected them to, but I think Juve are just too strong.
I think
They're too canny, I think, Juve for
Yeah.
Ajax. That's
They've
what
got
it comes
Ronaldo
down to
in
at this
it.
stage.
And I think, to be fair, I think when you look ahead, and look, I don't want us to get carried away because we've still got to get through the second leg, I think. But, you know, I think United are more beatable, which is why I don't think they'll get past Barcelona. You know, I think if we had a choice, if Liverpool do make it to semis and we had to do it, I think the easier route to the final would be United. I'm not sure I could stomach having to face that and face the possibility of what could happen if the worst came to the worst.
Semi-final Champions League against United. Can you imagine the nerves, the heart rate, just.
Do you think it'd be easier for the Liverpool team to get up for the Barca game as well?
To be honest, we had this with the Man City thing last year. I don't know. I think both. The good thing is that both massive football clubs with a big European heritage as well. I think there's all the cause for the coach greetings for us to give it our absolute best as fans and the team and all that. So I don't think there's any issues getting up for either of those games. No. I'll just be honest. I was so annoying having a European away in Manchester. I just can't be arsed with that again. So Barcelona in that regard would be preferable. But I think on the Juve side, Chris, I think Man City, if I could get through against Juve, and it's possible because they caused them problems, they've got that youthful exuberance on this side. I think City would absolutely batter Ajax everywhere.
Yeah.
I think Juve, naturally, because of that canniness in Europe, I think it presents the most difficult block to them making the European Cup final.
I think that's right. I think, you know, for me, was it 3 years on the bounce Juve got to the final before, or was it 2 and 3?
Two and
3, something like that. So you know that they've got that experience and they know how to get through these two-legged ties and stuff. And obviously they signed Ronaldo for a reason. They wanted to go one step further and actually lift the trophy, don't they? Yeah. So for me, I think Manchester City would have a much tougher game against the likes of Juventus, especially going in there and just not being the outright favourite. I mean, the bookies will probably make them a marginal favourite, but I think a lot of people who know football will be looking at Juventus and going, these guys know how to get past teams, and it doesn't matter how good they are and stuff like that. So anything that makes Manchester City work harder is good for us. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but when we beat Juventus to lift the European Cup, I'll be made up Manchester City out, quite frankly.
Do you think they get past Tottenham though? Because I'm not convinced.
I think they smash Tottenham everywhere.
I've got a real feeling. We were saying this before, like, because I can take City progressing in the Champions League because the league's the thing, isn't it? And if you're offered me, and I'm sure everyone's the same, that the Spurs will get absolutely tonked everywhere, but then get something in the league.
In the league game.
We've got to put all our eggs in that particular hope basket. But no, it's an interesting one. Phil, what do you think the score is going to be? Liverpool Porto.
We're going to win 2-1.
Okay.
I reckon they'll get a goal.
I think 2-0, either 1-0 or 2-0.
Okay.
1-1. Ooh. 1-1. And I think Klopp maybe actually throws a couple of spanners in the works with regards to the team.
Okay, interesting.
Something a little bit different than we're all thinking.
I think it's going to be a 2-1 or 3-1 to Liverpool thing. I think they'll score, and I think it maybe make it interesting. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I prefer them not to score first. But you know, it may be a bit like we've seen when we go a goal up, it's done. And then they get a bit of a consolation or whatever.
You can flip that the other way as well, though, because if they get a goal, the crowd's going to be right up straight away, which means they're just going to bomb forward, and then all we need to do is pick them off in the counter-attack. So actually that plays into it. It feels nervy from a fan perspective, but from a tactical perspective, it actually helps us.
I'll take that. Yeah, absolutely fine. I'm fine with all outcomes. Liverpool being in the semis to be great. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching, for listening, and for subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you want more from us, go to theredmentv.com, sign up. We've got so much amazing content around pre and post every Liverpool game. The analysis stuff is top level. Chris doing stats and tactics, man of the match, the final word show as well. If you're still not ready to talk about this game and you want to go back and revel in the Chelsea stuff, you can do. You can do. Yeah, that's all there. It's free for the first month, so go and try it out. Other than that, we'll see you very, very soon, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Hope we've got a place booked in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and then roll on to Cardiff.